Hey everybody, we're back with my travel companion journal. This one's the Old World Bill, and I am Christi with Christi Creations and a mixed media artist. So we have done all of our components to where we have a shell that I have pre-folded, and because I had told you in the video that was with this, you had to wait so long before folding. I only had a couple of hiccups where I can go add glue later too, but right this second I'm not prioritizing that. We have made our envelope, and we have made our journal. So, now we have all these, but what about the rest of the stuff? How do they store? What do we do with everything else? Is now the question, like I have right here. So now we're putting it all together. And we're going to start with the most simplest part. So first off, I've talked about this a couple times, so I'm going to say it again. This part that glues right here on the back. Before gluing, if you want to cut 12 to 16 inches and glue on each side and put that down, instead of Velcroing this, I'm sorry, a ribbon. I didn't even remember to say ribbon there. I'm sorry. 12 to 16 inches of ribbon. Instead of Velcroing it, you can make it where if it starts bulging, it's still usable. Also, if you're like me and got just slightly off in places, you can come trim it up when you're ready. I'm just going to get some ink later. I'm not worried about it. So anyway, the back is pretty straightforward. I'm going to pull my double-sided tape slightly into view, and we're just going to be using it. As you can see, I have 4 different sizes. I've been grabbing all 4 sizes for what I'm doing here. I'm probably just going to use this size here, and that's why I like buying a set of them. But unfortunately, sooner or later, I'm going to have to switch to using the ones I don't use as often, like this one here, to clear all of them out. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just use that one so you can see if you only had the small tape, the difference. So if I was doing a small tape, I would do 2 lines to 3 lines to make it thick enough to sit. But so let's go ahead and do this. I just keep tearing a little bit off, and we're gonna just go across to the edge, run it. And that one was pretty good. I nearly made it all the way without having to tear a piece. And any odd pieces I have left, I'm just going to stick in the middle. And at random spots, like this piece here, I'm going to go ahead and just drop in here, because that will give me more spots to stick with. Sometimes it likes to stay stuck to me, and I have a little trouble there. That's okay. We're doing this with this one. Again, I had a little extra, so we'll just drop it in the middle. Now, I'm going to show you what I meant. Before I do the edges, I'm going to put another piece about right here to give that extra support. Yes, it doesn't go all the way to the end, and I'm not worried about that. I got a little glue stuck to me, so I was trying to get it off. And so we'll do that again. And that will just give it a little bit more support on each side. That's why sometimes the thicker is just quicker and easier. But I want to show you what happens if all you have is thin. How to make it more supportive at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other edges before I add the other side. And again, I have a random piece, so I'm just going to stick it somewhere. The more you have stuck on this, the better off it's going to stay. Now, if you're using the ribbon, I would really recommend using a fabric glue for the ribbon, or zip dry, to make sure it stays good and stuck. Also, even though I'm pulling these, if you want to, you could technically take them and use these to cut with. I don't really care to do that. So that's just a personal preference for me. Okay. I'm going to put a strip here and here real quick, and I'm going to do a slightly bigger strip to make it go a little quicker for us. So about like that. If I can put them in the right spot. And that. So you can see I have a pretty good option of sticking down. Now let me swirl my bag of tools, because now we get to pick up all of the second side of the double-sided tape. And what I'm doing is using my little tool that I've talked about a couple times now in the video. And it has come in very well handy. And so, there we go. Alrighty, there's some of them pulled. Another one. Ouch. The issue with me always starting on the left-hand side, I always end up sticking my hand in it, being left-handed. I never think about that. I'm going to flip it over, and even now, since I already done that, even starting over here on the right, it's still going to do the same thing, isn't it? Oh well, let's just get this done and going. All right, there we go. I want to make this a spot here. Nope. Try that again. There we go. And one more time. All righty. Now, you probably just want to go straight and stick this down, but you don't want to, because you want to make sure your flap and flap both face the same way. So I pushed my flap out so I can make sure I'm going to the front and the top on top, and then I just push it down and we have our back on. So now we have a front and a back, and still plenty of stuff to do. So I am going to show you something, then I'm going to pause and do the rest, because I didn't think about doing it all beforehand. I should have, but I did not. You have 6 of these, 2 in each direction, only image on one side. We are going to fold all of the white corners, all the gray tabs. I will use the correct word here in a second. And I'm going to show you one time doing it, and then I'm going to pause and then do all these, so you do not have to spend forever watching me. There's one folded, and then I'll show you what I will do with all these after I get done all these folded, and I'll be back here in a few minutes on my end, and it'll be no time on yours. Okay, I got them all folded. Now half of these do not have images on them. Those are easy, straightforward. The other half have 3 images on them. So you're going to decide how you want them in your layout. That right now I'm not going to worry about. That's something y'all can decide. I'm going to do my layout my way, and then I'm going to move on. So I personally am going to start from the bottom and move inward. Some days I wish I had a magnetic piece to work off of, so I could just put pins down and hold these down in places, but I love my silicone mat too much to do that. And yes, they do make those. So you have total options. You can use liquid glue, double-sided tape. Some people even use stick glue on these tabs. But I am not going to. I am just going to use my tape runner today to make this all quicker. And then I'm going to move on. Let's get this one down. I'm just putting it slightly at the bottom. I'm giving it a little space so it does not hit when it closes, but other than that, it is on. Now, the one with the image, I am literally just laying right on top of it. And just like that. And now you have one of your pockets done, and all that goes in these are one of each of these slides in perfectly. So you can put whatever you want on them. And we're going to do the other two in just a minute. Alright, so I'll be honest, I had to pause for a second. I don't remember what I was talking about. Gotta love life happening around. So we're gonna do the next ones like so, and then I will show you how to add the journal. So like I said, you can use the small tape, double-sided tape, tape runner. Some people use stick glue. I've never figured out how they're capable of doing that and not me, because I can tell you right now I am not one of them. I'm trying to be careful with my double-sided tape because I did not bring my extra refills with me and I'm not quite home. So I do leave a little gap from the bottom because even though we're folding and there's room for it, I just want to make sure there's that little extra security on it. Now, one of the things when I do get to the journal, I will use my tape runner here, but I will also probably have to go back and do like I did before and add some heavy duty zip dry or something a little heavier than my go-to glue stick. My go-to glue, liquid glue, to keep it in place. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to show you what we're doing and you can decide how you want to glue that when we get there. And you can see when I said also in one of the videos, I did comment the decor would be slightly covered up. That's why it really didn't matter if you lined them up correctly, but I like how that little hint pops through no matter what. And that's just my personal preference, of course. And I'm trying to come up with more ideas besides, I know I want to do some other travel style of these journals. But what else would you like to see these journals made in? Because there are so many options. And let's go ahead and slide our tags in. So if you have options, I would see like how that right now it's not wanting to go in all the way because I guess I glued it. Anyway, now we're left with these two pieces. I'm actually going to turn sideways on y'all so it's completely in the video. This is where I always grab something heavy. You get to see my toolbox there to hold the flap down while we work right here. So this is going to go right here. That is the whole purpose for this spot here. And these tags, unless you decide to use ribbon, are what you're going to use. Now I made these extra big so when the book starts popping up, there is more space. So the first option is you can pencil mark it if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just sliding my book down a little bit from where I want it. I'm going to fold my tabs real quick. I forgot to tell y'all to do that. And I'm just going to use my tape runner. Like I said, later I will come back probably with a heavier option. I'm probably will use zip dry or Art Deco glitter is another one I keep in stock. Now you also want to look and see which way you want these to go, because even though they're hard to read, there is words on them, so you may want them facing upward. And I also made them connecting pattern even though they're split, so if that helps y'all at all. So I'm going to take my, right there, I'm barely on screen, and put that right there for now. And I'm going to put this one right here and just stick it down. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other one. Makes it a little harder when I have something heavy there, but when you don't have something popping up on you, it makes it easier. Now their whole job is to wrap around your book, fold under, but you notice how I gave you that space, so when your book starts to expand, you can work it. But you don't need your book right this second in the way. We're just going to take the tape runner again. And last time I did not use the tape runner when I did this. I used liquid glue. So I'm curious if I will actually have to go back and add zip dry. I noticed I did not get that one all the way up, but that's okay. Now we're going to do the other side. And we're going to just press it in. Now that is done, you just slide your, if I can do it correctly, my bottom one's wanting to go under the tab and not above it. There we go. Book in. And something you might want to do is tie some ribbon around your book to make it go in easier. I don't know if that will actually help or not. It's after I've had it in a few times, I've noticed it goes in a lot easier than this first time or two. But now we have it in, so we're not going to worry about that. So these will fold down and have some creasing, but they're designed to help give your book a little more pop-up. So all you need to do now is fold your book and decide if you're putting Velcro on it or no Velcro on it. Of course, I'm going to hold it where it don't pop up. Grab one of my Velcro sheets. And all I have done is I also plan to do loose ribbon around this personally for my own journaling and traveling, and then do just like that. And here you are. We have now completed the travel journal. Thank you all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoy this, and I would love more suggestions of what y'all would like to see in this style. Maybe something fantasy. I know Highland cows are very popular. Maybe something you like, if you want a concert variation, walking trips, like a forest theme. Give me ideas. But now let's open this back up. And you can see how it all comes back out together. And how you can add color stuff here. There's still so much you can decorate with. Blinging it out, you can add so much. I can see so many vintage stickers, fussy cuts, and so forth if you're using it for one trip. Using it for multiple trips, I might keep it a little more clean and do, unless I'm using the same sections for each thing every trip. That is some ideas for you. I hope this gave y'all some fun ways of doing this. And I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye, everybody.